Namaste. Namaste, friends. I'd like you to join me in an ankle opening, foot opening, meditational movement yoga, little asana pranayama. Opening the feet and the ankles. If you have feet, or if you have ankles, which you might, most of us do, some don't have feet. But if you do, this is a great practice for you. If you would like to come with an open heart and join me as we open our feet and open our ankles. Hello. Find that comfortable seat on your mat. The easy pose that's not always so easy. Moving those sit bones over to the sides. Taking a few moments here. Just resting into our seat. Placing our hands on our heart. And taking this next moment to tune in to the beat of our heart. Feel the beat as a sensation. Hear it as an audible sound. And simply observe your breath. Becoming aware at the inflow and the exhalation. Being aware of just the existence of this powerful force in your breath. And allowing it to come in and out with ease. You might notice it beginning to rapidly increase. Your chest might be rising and falling. You might notice your belly puffering in and out, or it's slowing down. Just allowing yourself to be with whatever it is and allowing yourself to let go of judgment of your breath. On the next inhale, breathe deeply into that heart center. Opening up at the opportunity to connect to our energetic hearts. Not only is there our physical heart here, the heart center, which is also the ability to heal our lives and the ability to love in our lives. The next inhale, bringing an intention, setting an intention for this practice of why we are here. For me, this practice is to help people who have pain in their feet, discomfort in their ankles, and to help people open the feet and relax and cause a little ease in the ankles and the feet. So your intention could be that, it could be openness, alleviating pain, whatever it may be. There's no right or wrong. On the next inhale, we're going to come together with 3 ohms. An ohm is the primordial sound of the universe, just OM. And allow yourself to just roll with the sounds. Leaving your hands at heart center or bringing them down in a mudra, or just letting them be on your knees. Inhale. Release and let go. Allow yourself to melt down and let go. Inhale, melt. Beautiful work. Just let your sound vibrate, and who cares? Even if you have to hum it to yourself, that's fine. Inhale, let go. On the next inhale, bringing your awareness to your feet. Beginning with the outer foot, whatever foot was on the outside. Begin by bringing your awareness and your attention down to that foot by rolling the ankle back and forth. And by putting this foot up and giving it a little rub. And you might do this for yourself, or you might never have done this. You might never have given yourself a little love and attention. We all crave for this bodily touch, the loving touch from other people. And I know other people, like my husband, is always asking for massages and rubs, and it's just his way of getting more affection and more attention. Why don't we do this to ourselves more? We should. So let's do it. Let's start now. Rubbing the calves, rubbing the toes, bringing your awareness to your feet. Giving these lovely, amazing things gratitude. Rubbing the ankle. If you have any sore, tight spots, just rub past it. Moving your thumbs in little circular motions. Maybe pressing with your fingertips down. Giving your feet acknowledgement. Thank you, feet, for all you do, for all of your amazingness. Your feet do so much for us. We rarely take the time to say thank you, feet. I will share one of the affirmations that I do start my morning with. I start with gratitude. One of them as I get out of bed is thank you, feet. Because our feet do so much for us. They're so amazing. And maybe giving that little leg a little stretch out, posting the hands by the side, and just, feel a little crickety pop-pops back and forth. Switching, putting this leg up top. And if this doesn't work, you can keep your foot down here if that feels better. And just allowing yourself to rub and connect with your own self. With each little rub, little fingerprint, thumb rub, just with the intention of loving your feet out there. Giving them gratitude for all they do. Little amazing toes, all these amazing toes. I don't know if you're a toe popper or not. Some people like to pop their toe. My daughter loves toe popping. Rubbing up a little bit on the heel, getting a little ankle rub, and if you're feeling it, go up that calf. Just thank you. Same thing, just put this foot out there and rolling it around a little bit. Feeling what it feels like to plant down. On the next inhale, rotating those feet behind us, coming up on all fours. Tuning into our feet, placing the tops of our feet down and planting back. Maybe for a gentle devotional pose or child's pose. Coming straight forward, feeling the stretch on the top of those feet. Resting your head on the mat. And make sure that your head touches the mat. So you bring your knees up for a deeper stretch, putting that head down on the mat. Feeling what it feels like to really extend the tops of the feet. On the next inhale, rising up to hero's pose, to Barasana. The hero's pose, just sitting and engaging the tops of the feet into the earth and feeling what it feels like. And if this feels a little rough, a modification you can use is a pillow under those sit bones. And if you need a little extra support, putting your hands by your side. Really feeling the openness of this. And you might not think this is work, but this is a long work. It feels really good. And in this moment, as we tune into our feet, we're going to wake up our shoulders. Waking up the shoulders by rolling them back, rolling them forward, coming forward and posting our hands forward. Extending that spine, removing the wrinkles out of our chin, and feeling what it feels like to stretch out here. On the next inhale, threading the needle, raising the arm up and threading it through the opposite arm and releasing down. And letting this arm open as we're still moving open our feet. Now we're opening our arms. Because in yoga, we focus on one thing, but each practice should encompass every part of your body. On the next inhale, coming up, switching arms, raising the opposite arm up to the ceiling, and threading that shoulder through, and resting down. Coming up on the opposite arm, planting in, breathing in and exhaling. On the next inhale, walking hands to tabletop, pointing the feet up, pushing back for a little gentle stretch in the toes as you post those feet up. And if you feel good, you can stay here. You can come all the way back into a stronger hero's pose. Ooh, really feeling the deep stretch of those toes opening. Feel my toes opening. Being. And if that feels way too much, you can drop back down. Go back down for one more Barasana. Coming up, warrior, not a warrior. Onto the knees. The left foot and bringing it up towards your booty. You can grab up at the ankle. Tuning into those knees and the alignment of the knees over the hips. I'm definitely in this blissed out state. I just got back from Shoshone weekend retreat at the Shoshone Center for my yoga practice teacher training. And I went to a temple and it was a lot of energy, blissed out, craziness, amazingness. And not judging yourself here. Releasing a little bit down to the mat. And you can grab with that opposite foot too and get a deeper stretch. Now grabbing it with the toes. And as far up as you can bring those feet, that's great. Some might be able to completely plant or flex their foot on their butt. And if this is all you can do, this is fine. Just bringing it up and stretching, elongating the spine and the shoulders, tuning into the hips and keeping the hips in line with the short edge of the mat. And feeling that stretch. As you're stretching your foot and your toes, you're also working your arms. Do you feel that? Feels great. Gently releasing that foot. Maybe rolling that ankle a little bit, stretching the toes, tingling fresh. Planting the left foot down and reaching back gently and kindly to the right ankle and bringing that up towards your booty. You can use the opposite arm if that feels good. Always tune in and do what feels good. Tuning into the alignment of the knees and the hips. Tuning into if you're sagging out to one side, check in here like this versus keeping those hips in alignment with the knees and the hips and the heel. Turning back so you can see it. And feeling that stretch. Stretching not only the knee and the ankle and the toes. And the next inhale, inhaling up that back leg. And feeling those toes bringing into the body. Beautiful work. Ooh, that would give me a little cramp around in there. Rolling on out. Bringing that back up, inhaling. Exhaling down. Bring that foot down. And maybe just moving those feet up. I just created this movement. It's like the kitty litter. Moving and creating a little bit short movements with the hands and the feet. Just creating that little movements, rolling, bringing our attention to the feet. As we bring our awareness to our feet on the next inhale, coming up on the knee, planting into a semi-runner's lunge. Coming up on the ankle and knee, powering up through this back foot, and doing your best to keep in alignment with your shoulders and your hips. And you can rock back and forth on the toe. Coming up on the toe, keeping that heel off the back of the mat. Rolling, maybe doing a little bit of a back and forth rock, waking up those toes. Feeling the awareness of our feet. On the next exhale, coming back down to the mat. Tuning in to the core strength in your body. In the back, leaning back as you tune into your hips, being aware that you're not dropping the opposite hip and the shoulder alignment. And feeling a nice counter stretch. Maybe elongating those arms to a T, keeping them to the side, having some options here. Or bringing them up and feeling those toes. Now lift the front toes up and gently place them on the mat. Pinky, ring finger, middle, pointer, big toe. Feel that mound of fleshy part, the bigger part of your foot, engaging into the earth. Tuning into the arch if you have flat feet or not as flat feet. And the heel, powering up, feeling what that feels like there. And staying here, maybe going forward and back, waking up. And we're still on these back toes. And if that's hurting you, if you have any sort of a foot injury, you can drop that back foot and let it just plant and melt into the earth. And creating like a nice motion back and forth. Beautiful. And the next inhale, knee to knee. Tuning in to our feet again, becoming aware of these lovely, beautiful feet. Ankles to support us, our knees and our hips. On the next inhale, inhaling up, raising the opposite foot, planting it in for a nice little runner's lunge. Tuning that foot into the mat, that back foot, posting that back foot up. And if it feels better to just stay here on your knee, stay on your knee, stay down there. Or if you're feeling like feeling stronger and up, but if you are having that foot or ankle injury, stay down here. But if you can, powering up and feeling the stretch on those back toes, that back calf, creating just this beautifulness in our body. Back and forth a little bit. Planting that knee back down into here, coming back. Using the hips and keeping in alignment with the hips and elongating the spine. Whenever you elongate the spine, your core naturally tunes in. And bringing that front knee up and tuning into the shoulders that we're not drooping, deciding ahead. Raising the toes off of the mat, connecting them into the earth. Down, slow, steady. Releasing this foot into the earth. Tuning it. Ankle. Knee to knee. On the plank, the palms, the hands into the mat. Powering up with a downward facing dog. Allowing those feet to truly feel connected and grounded in the mat. Being gentle to yourself, doing what feels good to you. If your heels don't touch the earth, that is completely fine. You can always try a pillow and press into the pillow to feel that stretch. And it will not only stretch out your feet, but your toes. And feeling what it feels like, right, lowering the knees down to the mat, and maybe coming down for a little mini child's pose. Maybe powering back up, knees back, feeling what it feels like to be here. Walking or hopping forward, whatever feels better. If you're hopping forward, just be gentle on those knees and gentle on the feet. Coming here to Uttasana, powering through the points of the foot on the mat, coming halfway up, rolling the neck in a small circular motion to the other side, rolling the shoulders, coming back down to the mat, tuning into the feet, coming back up. Beautiful Uttasana, rolling that booty around, extending the arms to a chair pose, coming down and grounding through those points of the feet, tuning into the knees and the ankles, elongating the spine and the arms, going as deep as comfortable for you. On the next inhale, inhaling up to Tadasana, the mountain. The mountain is one of our foundational poses. In yoga, it is a pose of how we are in this world. So tuning into those feet here and grounding, rooting down into the earth, feeling what it feels like to be here in these feet. Maybe slowly moving your body back and forth. Again, lifting up those toes and rooting down toe by toe, toe by toe, by toe. Rolling the hips, rolling the shoulders, feeling what it feels like. On the next inhale, powering through the left leg, coming up to a figure four, bringing the awareness to the feet and how we be tilting in and out of the foot, rolling that ankle, finding a balance here, pushing equally, powering from the top of the thigh and pressing this foot on top into it, sinking down, releasing those shoulders, bringing arms up into cactus, releasing up, feeling what it feels like to be grounded in our feet, dynamically moving our arms, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And the next exhale, exhaling up, releasing, rolling that ankle out, feeling what it feels like here, rolling the other ankle out, powering up through the 4 points of the foot, the right foot, bringing up into figure four, foot up, flat resting on top of that thigh, equally pushing the thigh into the foot, and coming down wherever is comfortable, feeling the pelvis and the spine, tuning into the feet and the ankles, bringing our awareness and our gratitude down there, bringing in gratitude, breathing out gratitude. Maybe coming up for a nice static movement, an option, a cactus, dynamically moving arms up to the ceiling for a little challenge. If you lose your balance, it's okay, we're all human people. It's great. Inhale. Woo. Exhaling that leg down, wall, rolling the ankles in. Thank you. Walking here. On the next exhale, exhaling down at the spine. Exhaling down at the hips. Feeling what it feels like to bend from the spine versus bending at the hips. If we're bending from our spine, we're creating curvature curvature, but bending of those hips. Much better coming down at the hips to a nice forward fold. As we're in this forward fold, coming kind of skiing out those legs back and forth. These pants are a little big, but coming back and forth and extending the inner part of the ankle and feeling what it feels like to distribute the weight equally on each side. So skiing out back and forth, breathing deeply here, deeply into the belly, into the abdomen. And if you're feeling powerful, you may come up a little bit and skiing out, feeling what it feels like to ski out those legs. Beautiful work. You can take it slow and steady, kind of planting down. You can walk back and forth. Beautiful work here. Feeling the movement of the ankle and the work of the feet. On the next exhale, inhaling up through the back of the heart, raising at the back of the heart, hinging up at the hips, keeping a soft bend in the knee. Coming up, up, up. On the next inhale, grabbing a blanket and rolling our blanket out. We're to place it on our mat. Coming up here on our feet, placing the tops of our feet up at a slight little angle. Powering down and feeling the stretch in those feet. That feels stretcherific. Finding a nice hip distance apart. Hip distance is one of those things where we feel like sometimes outside of the hips, but this is placing the feet inside the hips, powering down. Feeling that gentle stretch. Take 5 breaths deeply into the feet. Near the mat. Raising those arms up if you would like. You can find a little soft little sun salutation. Arms up to Anjali Mudra. Down to the sides. Heart leading down to the earth. And collecting clean, fresh energy. Raising it up. Down. Arms out, up. Onto Anjali Mudra. It's beautiful, beautiful time. Feeling what that feels like. On the next inhale, walking the feet around and feeling the opposite effect. I'm going to hold this blanket up a little bit higher so I can feel what it feels like to ground down through the balls of my feet. Grounding through those balls and pushing down. Feeling what it feels like in these legs. Inhaling up. Exhaling to the side. To the other side. Arms down. Forward, moving down. Crouching down here. Just being here. We're going to create a little bit of a froggy frog. The froggy foot, or maybe the baby Buddha. And feeling what it feels like to rotate from the foot and the ankle. This little froggy. Like, remember when you were a kid and you would do the frog leap? You would, or ribbit. Maybe doing a few of those little ribbits. Feeling what it feels like to ribbit and feel the bend. Ribbit. What it feels like to be frogorific. We're riveting. Ribbit. Make a ribbit. It's really fun. Ribbit. My knee feels a little tight, but we're going to ribbit. Ribbit. This is another really fun one. The gorilla. So, being in the middle of our mat, imagining that we were like a gorilla. So, hopping feet together to one side, and then feet together at the other side. Have you seen a gorilla move? Really powering from the feet and the ankles. If you do have quite of an ankle injury, you can go really slow. You can just step one foot, bring one foot down, one foot down. If you really want to increase some flexibility, mobility in those ankles, moving at a quicker pace. Like George of the Jungle. Tarzan. Woo! It's quite a leg workout. I had some pretty intense training, yoga, intermediate training, but I went to the Shoshone. My legs are really tight. But it feels good, feeling that flexibility in those feet. A few freeing gorilla side swipes. Gorilla. Woo, that's fun. into those feet and the ankles. Feeling what it feels like in those feet and ankles. Maybe coming back down to devotional pose. You're doing a vlog, you can please be quiet. Releasing the tops of those feet down into the mat and breathing deeply here. Exhaling deeply. Exhaling. On the next inhale, coming up to tabletop. Tabletop, finding some cow and cats. Maybe putting the feet up on the mat, or releasing them down, letting the mat down. Rolling the spine in the middle together. Releasing the spine up to the ceiling, wagging that tail out. Wagging it back and forth. Feeling what it feels like in those feet. To find a little movement. Maybe lifting up on the knees and wagging and feeling what feels good in the feet. Maybe taking another slight little bend, grabbing the right foot and stretching it up as far as feels good with a little bit of a gentle rock forward. Feeling that stretch. Grabbing the toes and powering through that hind arm and stretching those toes back up. And maybe plantar flexing them down a little bit as you roll your ankle. That feels good. Put it down back into the earth. Grabbing the opposite arm and the opposite ankle. Again, bringing that up. Feeling the stretch of that ankle, the top of the foot. Moving up. Breathing. Being leery of hyperextension in the elbows. Bringing that foot up. Breathing in. Exhaling down that foot. Feeling the openness of the feet and the ankles. On the next inhale, crossing our feet, tucking back into seat, and rolling forward. Releasing one leg, planting the opposite foot, the right foot, down into the earth, grounding through the earth. Imagining there was an invisible wall in front of our left leg, and squeezing this leg in. Breathing deeply, finding on the exhale a twist to the opposite side, moving that shoulder away from the ear, powering through the points of the arm, breathing deeply, tuning into those feet. Inhaling and crossing the leg over the opposite side, hugging it into your chest and finding a nice soft spinal twist. The arm away from the ear, checking into the foot, giving that foot, both feet gratitude, with this foot still engaged into the earth. Bringing the opposite leg back, planting the feet down to Dandasana, powering up through those arms, and feeling the energy between the toes, creating Shakti toes, that energetic feeling between the toes. Engaging them. This can be one of those poses where you either feel nothing or you feel a lot. If you're feeling nothing, I encourage you to lengthen up through the spine and really ground into your hands like they were the soles of your feet. And push these feet out while you're bending. And if your knees, your legs are like mine, they don't like to go flat to the earth, which is good. You can put a little blanket here for a little bit of loving support and kindness. Empowering through and really elongating and stretching and lifting up that heart and lifting through the crown. And feeling those toes, where you can create space between your toes. It feels good. Dropping the feet out to the side, seeing if you can touch the outsides of the mat. Breathing right there for a moment. 2 breaths. Into the belly button. Inhaling. Exhaling. Plantar flexing your feet ahead of you. Really bringing your attention to the feet. Drawing those toes together, squeezing the toes together, and squeezing the toes apart. Feeling what it feels like here. Now drawing the toes back. Imagine we're just aiding our feet and our toes. Coming on back, creating like a flexion of the toes. Back and around to the side. And then now that we've got to the side, go in as far as comfortable. If you can only go down a little bit, just stay there. And allow your body to feel what it feels like to be a little off. Heeled, feet back out to the outside. Bending the left leg up, grabbing through the meaty part of the foot, those pads of the feet, and pulling as you're rolling your shoulders back, extending your spine, and really tuning into what it feels like in the back of the ankle here. Breathing deeply here. Imagine you're breathing air up the sole of your foot. Exhaling down, pressing that foot into the mat. Feeling what that feels like there. Beautiful. On the next exhale, trading feet. It's opposite foot. Releasing this foot down into the earth. Powering down into the earth. Feeling what it feels like. Grabbing that foot and drawing it in. Feeling that stretch on the back of that ankle. Feeling what it feels like to be here. Dropping it down. Beautiful. Inhale, hugging that opposite leg up into the chest. Breathing up through the soles of the feet, powering through the right foot down into the earth, feeling what it feels like to engage those toes, then feel what that ankle feels like just supporting your leg. Powering through the opposite foot, breathing, rolling those shoulders back. And the next inhale, crossing the leg over, hugging. Over here, we can hug and we can twist, find a soft spinal twist. Sometimes when you get so many movements, you kind of say, where was I at? What was I doing? Oh yeah, I was here. And then now, inhale to center, crossing, hugging into the chest, reaching through that back arm, powering through the feet and the ankles, feeling that cross at the midline, powering through those toes, extending the toes, opening up, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. And the next exhale, bring both of the feet up to the chest, dropping them out to the sides for a nice butterfly. Powering those soles of the feet, kissing the soles of the feet, giving gratitude to these amazing feet and all of they've done for us. Inhaling and exhaling. And this is just a little bit of a tester. Every movement, as I said before, of yoga incorporates a little bit of everything. So yes, we are bringing our awareness to our feet and loving care to our ankles. But we're also acknowledging the other parts of our bodies, saying, oh yeah, did my arms moved a little bit? Because I'm sure you've done those movements before where you just work on your legs. One day's leg day and the other's arm day. For me, I feel so off kiltered. I just need that balance. I need to move my arms a little bit. Acknowledging those shoulders as you're acknowledging those feet. Waking them up. Being just aware of those feet. Maybe giving them another little gentle rub and love. Sometimes rest is the best thing. And giving your feet acknowledgement that they're more than enough. On the next exhale, spreading your feet a little bit far apart and engaging them into the earth while keeping your legs open. We're not pushing our thighs open. We're just being here. Maybe drawing those feet, the heels into the chest a little bit and coming forward, extending through the spine and feeling what it feels like on our ankles to give this nice outward stretch. We don't usually stretch our ankles like this, just giving them a little bit of love. On the next inhale, planting the feet outside. You can lay back a little bit and letting your knees collapse a little bit. You can give them a soft little glider back and forth. Rocking them up and down. Inhaling as you allow your spine to rest on the mat like a string of mala beads. Back down, knees and feet up, planting down, and finding a little freeing windshield wiper here. Feeling what it feels like to have your feet rooted in your ankles and then disconnected. Finding that happy little rock back and forth in your spine, your feet tuning into everything. Inhaling, knees up to chest. Maybe making a little circle from side to side. Tuning into those feet and ankles, stretching, crossing a little bit. You can grab opposite foot as you cross your legs and pulling those feet into your booty. And you can stay here if this feels good, or you can gently bring your legs down and drop down to the mat. And you can hold onto the toes or the tops of the feet. Feel a nice openness here. Exhaling love. Inhaling love. And the next inhale, inhaling those knees back up to the chest. Hugging them in, rocking a little bit, crossing the opposite direction. Staying here for a little happy breath. Maybe breathing in peace. Exhaling peace as you grab the opposite foot or the opposite ankle, whatever feels the most comfortable to you. Inhaling, staying, or exhaling down to the floor, dropping those knees down, opening up the ankles and the feet as you're cooling down, feeling the rest and relaxation. Maybe moving the hands up to the toes. It's a nice little gentle stretch here of the toesies. I'm going to grab each toe and give it a little squeeze with my thumbs. Give that a try. So squeezing each toe, points. It's kind of hard to get the baby toe because it's pretty squished. And then rubbing. Inhaling, knees up to the chest. Finding an inner smile. Uncrossing those legs and kicking. A little up and down. Finding a little bicycle. Inhaling. Exhaling down. Finding freedom. Dropping those feet down to the earth for our final pose of surrender, savasana. Thank you so much for showing up for yourself. Take the next 2 minutes to allow yourself to be with the energy that you created, feeling the openness of your feet, the rest and relaxation that you gave yourself. I truly love you so deeply, and I'm so proud of you for showing up for yourself. Do it for yourself, even if you can only tune in a little bit at a time. I love you so much. Namaste, friends.